Hello and welcome to Sports Weekly. Over the coming weeks, every club cricketer up and down the country will be gearing towards the new season. So much has happened in 2017 already. After the resignation of Alistair Cook, the England cricket team find themselves with a new captain in Joe Root. Sussex and England T20 specialist paceman Tymel Mills became the $1 million man overnight in the IPL, and the English county cricket season has just begun. Well, joining me in the studio today is a woman hoping to bring through the next generation of young cricketers, cricket coach Saba Nasim. Saba, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Before we delve into your cricketing career, where did that sort of spark come from? How did you suddenly get into playing cricket?
I think as a youngster I was always surrounded by cricket. You know, my parents being Asian, Pakistani, we always used to watch matches on the television and just always used to play with my brother and, you know, our neighbours cricket on the street even. So, yeah, I think we just had a passion for the sport at a young age.
Did you, I mean, you watched it growing up, yeah. And, I mean, what stage did you suddenly think this is the sport that I want to play regularly in my life? Were you just watching it on TV or were you watching live games as well?
I think when I was about 10, there was a cricket, taster session at school, at my primary school, and I went to join it. And I really enjoyed playing the sport. I think I just enjoyed hitting a ball, really. And then that coupled with the fact that I watched matches on TV and influenced by my parents and playing with my brother in the garden, I think that at that age is when I got a passion for the sport.
And did you find that you enjoyed all-round cricket, or was there a specific aspect of the sport that you really started to sort of enjoy?
Well, I'm an all-rounder at my club anyway, and I think I just enjoy batting, bowling and fielding. So, you know, once you're a batter and you get out, if you're not a bowler, you don't really get to do much. So I try to learn both the skills so I could always be involved in all aspects of the game. You're
a solicitor by profession.
Yeah.
How do you balance the two, is the first thing I want to know.
Well, I just do it in my spare time and on the weekends. If I've got, if I'm just not doing anything, then cricket is always on the menu for me. After work, so when I finish work at 6 p.m, I'll go and run my 2 coaching sessions. And then on the weekends, I'll arrange games for the girls, and also in the summer season, I'll play cricket myself.
And what do your family think about it? I mean, how's your family reacted to yours? You've clearly jumped right in, and we're going to talk a little bit about what you do with the schools and with the girls' cricket team later. But what was your family reaction when you started to show this desire in playing cricket regularly? Well,
they were very supportive, so I was quite lucky, that they were quite supportive of what I was doing. When I became a level 2 coach, they said, "Why don't you become a level 3 coach?" And so they're quite supportive. My parents played sport quite a lot when they were in Pakistan as well. So they've always encouraged us to play sport and also, do the education parts as well. So they said to do both is quite good. It complements each other well.
You've been working also in the community to try and relay some of that passion that you have. Can you just tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I've been going into the local secondary schools, especially girls-only schools, to try and give free taster sessions. They're run by Essex County Cricket Board and the Chance to Shine charity. So I'm employed by them to go in and give taster sessions to girls and just ignite a passion for the sport in them at a young age, so that they're more likely to carry on playing and join a club nearby.
And what's the sort of, obviously you want them to join the club nearby, yeah. But what's the sort of the real reason for getting them into cricket specifically as opposed to, say, other sports?
Well, I think because I play it myself and I've got a passion for the sport, I think it's the one sport that teaches quite good leadership skills, team working skills. It promotes social cohesion, you're working with other members of a team to achieve success together. So I think cricket was just always on the menu for me, and as playing it at a young age, I wanted girls to also experience the same feeling that I had when I played the sport.
Have you found that a lot of the girls you've been teaching have sort of got into cricket like you got into cricket? I mean, there's obviously a lot of pressure, tends to be a lot of pressure in school communities to go into what might be considered, a female sport. Netball is a great example, and no disrespect to netball, but there are those sort of stereotypes. So how have you found that? Has anyone picked up that sort of same passion that you have?
I think mostly the girls who want to try cricket or are willing to try cricket have played rounders quite a lot at school, and that's quite a fun sport as well. So I tell them it's a bit like, I try to sell it like that. I tell them if you play rounders and you're quite good at hitting a ball, you'll be really good at cricket. And there's not many rounders clubs and it's not really played at a national level. So we try to, gear the girls towards the cricket like that. So I think, yeah, not that many girls that play cricket that I've come across play netball as well. They actually quite enjoy the sport. And I think I've attracted quite a lot of the South Asian community, so I'm guessing there's an influence there with their parents as well.
Yeah, we'll touch on the South Asian community a little bit later. As I understand it, you also arrange for the women's England cricket team or members of the women's cricket team to come and meet some of the young girls that you work with. What sort of reaction do you get?
Oh, they love it. I mean, just watching the stars on television and then having them in your local cricket club, and they're giving you coaching tips. So the girls, they really enjoy it. So yeah, we're looking to hold a few more of them at our club this year.
Do you have the captain, Heather Knight, she's going to be turning up?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, she'll be turning up to do a coaching session.
Okay, great. And you said that you were an all-rounder earlier, but is there something that you really excel in? You must be a pace bowler? Are you a sort of left-handed batswoman? What's your?
I'm a medium pace bowler. My success is mainly just bowling straight and hoping the batsman misses, but I really enjoy batting. I'm quite an aggressive batter, so I like to come in like number 3, 4 or 5 and just up the run rate quickly. So I'm usually quite good in T20 matches, so I'm not really that patient to, knock the ball around, so I'm quite known for my power hitting.
Okay, so when you're involved in the community with some of the girls and they're playing cricket, do they see it still as a bit of fun that they can play, they can come together and enjoy, or is there the potential to really push some of them into more serious cricket, like maybe county games and maybe one day even international, or is it very much just a question of come have some fun? I'll show you a few bowls and we'll bat for a little bit. What's the sort of seriousness of the sessions?
I think the girls who are beginners, at the project that I run on a Wednesday with Chance to Shine and Essex County Cricket Board, they're at the grassroots level. So in those sessions, I just try to make it beginner level, fun, friendly, make sure they come back next week. And then a few of them have asked how their girls can progress into club level. So I, locate them to the nearest club, which is the one I play for, and tell them there's a girls section there. And then from there, we've had a few that we've sent to trials for Essex. So there is talent there in the community. We just have to, keep pushing it through.
And is that from a variety of different regions, different areas, or do you find it specifically around London, or do you find people coming from the countryside?
So I mainly coach within the East London and West Essex region. So all the girls that I've come across, they're within East London. So yeah, that's how we kind of push them through.
Now, some viewers might be thinking, what are these sort of blocks on the table in front of us? These are some of your awards, aren't they? Can you just take us through what you've won? Because I mean, that's 3 awards for me with this size is incredible. I don't have anything like this in my room. So take me through them.
The first one over there, it's Chance to Shine and Essex County Cricket Board. The project that I run, the Girls Only Project, won Community Project of the Year. Mm-hmm. So that's that one. Yeah, that's the first one. Okay. And then the second one is the Asian Cricket Awards, where I won Coach of the Year for the same project in 2015. And then this one is Chance to Shine, the National Charity Coach of the Year Award that I won last November.
Okay, so this one here that you won here, tell me a little bit more about this one though.
So the Asian Cricket Awards, they were set up about 3 years ago to try and bring into the spotlight the contribution that British Asians make in sport. I mean, there's about 30 to 40% people play sport at the club level, but it's not being filtered into, the England national side. So the awards were made to try and recognise, the contribution that the Asians are making in the sport.
We've got Amin Hamid and Ali playing in the men's international sport. There is some representation there, but in the women's, virtually none.
Yeah, I mean, apart from Isha Guha, who's retired now, there isn't many. But I'm obviously trying to look into change that.
Do you realistically think that can work? I mean, there's got to be other measures in which, because I would love to see that. I mean, but how do you make that leap from fun evenings with girls playing cricket to professional, taking it seriously, knowing that there's the financial support as well as the sort of parental support too?
Yeah, I think it's just about having good role models and, good female coaches going into the schools and, like the days that we have with Heather Knight, just showing girls that, look, you too can make it if you put, the time and effort in and have the commitment and drive to, succeed in the sport. And now with the women's being, fully contracted as well by the ECB, so there's a pathway now for girls as opposed to just playing and then coaching on the side to supplement that.
So there is the funding there.
Yeah, there is funding there now.
Because a lot of funding has been cut from a number of sports. I mean, we've had handball, table tennis on the show. a lot of them have been saying that one of the biggest challenges going forward has been funding. So you're saying the ECB is playing an active role in getting more women into cricket.
Yeah, definitely.
So what sort of budgets are we looking at here?
I'm not sure of the budgets, but I know when I won this award, they had announced that they were double the funding in cricket. So, yeah, that's definitely good for the future of cricket in general and for women's cricket as well.
And is there anyone else like you, Saba, doing this?
Well, I hope so. I'm sure there's girls out there and they going to get recognised as well. But I think within my area, myself and the fellow coach that I coach with are running this project quite successfully. OK, that's fantastic. Well, look, we're going to find out a little bit more about some of the coaching and the work you do later in the show. The Marylebone Cricket Club have settled on a new code of laws to limit the thickness of bats, aimed at addressing what they deem to be an unfair balance between bat and ball. But will the measure work, and what's the reaction been? Our reporter Aldo Di Andrea takes up the story.
As factory worker Jatinder Singh carves another slab of thick willow, he insists that proposals to limit the size of cricket bats won't tame the big hitters. He has made bats for many leading players, including South Africa's A.B. de Villiers, who holds the record for the fastest 100 in a one-day international off just 31 balls. The World Cricket Committee of the Marylebone Cricket Club, who are the guardians of the game's rules and regulations, recommended last month that limitations be placed on the thickness of bats. They believe bigger weapons have made it too easy to smash fours and sixes. 30 years ago, a batsman's weapon of choice averaged 30mm to 32mm thick at the edge, but today's bigger bats are a chunky 45mm to 50mm.
Our conditions, like Indian wickets, are entirely different. They need a bat which is a little bit heavy, which has got more weight, because our pitches are a bit low. We are not as fast tracks as South Africa or Australia.
The cricket bat has evolved significantly down the years, from the original paddle-like shape to the popular scoop bat variety to today's familiar boat-shaped bat. Stories of India great Mansur Ali Khan Pataudi in the 1960s picking up whatever bat was nearest before walking out to the crease are legendary. But 50 years on, cricketers are involved in every aspect of the manufacture of their bats. If the MCC main committee agrees to limit the thickness of bats, then the regulations will become part of the laws of the game from October next year.
That's interesting, VT, for me. I thought the idea that there's a thickness, the thickness of bats can actually affect, you know, how far you can hit a 4 and a 6. What do you think of those new rules coming into play this year?
I think they'll be good. I've seen some bats that are just humongous. I don't even know how the players even hold them, but I think there has been a disadvantage to the bowlers. I mean, the balls haven't, gone smaller in size or bigger in size to affect them, but the bats have. So I think just to give the balance to both sides, batting and bowling, I think it'll be quite a good rule change.
But isn't that down more to the bowler pitching the ball in the right place where the batsman is taken off guard? So I mean, if the batsman manages to hit the ball, that's their skill. They've hit the ball through that skill. So it's up to the bowler to make sure that doesn't happen. So how does changing the thickness of bats really is that going to change it at all?
I think the thicker the bat is, the more, like, even if you just tap a really fast ball, it tends to go much more further, like for a 4 or a 6, than opposed to a thinner bat. So yeah, it is it's a bit controversial, but I think changing it, limiting it slightly, will be quite good to see, the bowlers see what things they do now to try and improve and to get wickets.
Interestingly, I guess that's also fairly relevant for men and women's cricket, because as we know, men's cricket and women's cricket, like a lot of sports these days, tends to be separated based on a reason of strength or whatever. That's probably, that's changing. I think we're starting to see things like darts. We're starting to see that sort of crossover. But it must still have an effect. Do you have that sort of issue with the girls that you're training, that, for instance, when they pick up a bat, the chances are they're going to be massive and heavy, or do you feel that's not really much of an issue?
I don't think it's much of an issue at the moment in women's cricket. I mean, you can get bats that are, to your height, And the trick is to hold it out in front of you, and if your arm doesn't shake, it means it's the right sort of bat for you. But I think in women's cricket, they don't make them that thick anyway. So I think it's more of a problem for the men's cricket. But if you say a young girl wants to come and play the sport, we will get her a bat that matches her size and something she can actually lift and hit the ball with.
Let's talk about a little bit about the kind of groups of people, the communities that are playing cricket. You go into schools and you teach a lot of young girls, but how have you found the South Asian community? How have you found, has that been easy to get going, or have you found that there's just not been much involvement from South Asian community playing cricket at the moment?
Well, the project that I started up about 4 years ago, the project that I run every Wednesday for the Chance to Shine one, I started off, we just opened up for everyone, but now we've got 80% of them are from a South Asian community. And I think it's just the cultural barriers of there's a female coach there. We sat down and worked out with Essex what were the needs of the community in that area. And they said that they would send their girls, to a women's only or a girls only one, a project if it was run by a female. So we try to tackle that, and that's why I believe we have 80% of the people, the girls coming through our project are from a South Asian community. That's
quite incredible. I mean, does that tell you something? Is that there's a cultural issue there that perhaps initially they, this is me hazarding a guess in the air, but that perhaps it was, perhaps a female coach would not be applicable, and now you're here and you're teaching young girls, and you've got this 80% surge in young girls wanting to play cricket. It sounds very much like it's been waiting to happen for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm glad Essex thought of it 4 years ago as opposed to never. So yeah, I think it's great. I think we just need a few more, female coaches going into the schools to aspire girls. I mean, the talent is there, but they're just not being reached at the moment.
What are the main hurdles in that respect?
I think it's got to be mainly the cultural issues, people the girls being shy also. I think at that age of teenage age, they don't tend to just go out like boys, be a bit more confident. They'll only come to the project, say if their friends, their girlfriends come along with them. But if they don't, then they're like, no, we don't want to come. So we either get all 5 turn up, the group of 5, or we get none of them turn up. So I think there's just the usual things that you get with girls' sport at a young age.
And the evidence is obvious. I mean, you get all these awards if you do. Saba, have you found that the schools and the parents have been receptive to this? Because what's the sort of process? Because I understand that, there are various schools that you work with, but do they send a letter out, or do you contact the parents directly, or how does that work?
I just send an email out myself to the schools and offer them free, coaching sessions, and if they can, fit me in a slot, if they can't give me, time in their curriculum, just ask for a lunchtime 30-minute slot where I'll just go into the local school, give them a taster session, and then hand out a leaflet for the project that I run if they want to play cricket outside of school, and then just hopefully progress them from there.
Okay, and that's been working?
Yeah, it's been working quite well for the last 4 years.
You're working with the MCCF girls as well, aren't you? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So that's another project that I run in the borough of Newham in London, and that is to try and get the girls who have played a little bit of cricket before, to try and get them ready to play hardball cricket, to play club cricket, and hopefully to spot talent to send for county trials. So it's a bit more extra coaching and more technical for them.
And you mentioned county trials there, so that they will be what becomes spotters, or so they would actually, you would teach them and they would go off and help scout, or?
No, they will go for the trial. So we will recommend them to trial for the county, and once they've attended the trial, the managers there will choose if they're ready to play county cricket.
So that's what we were talking about a little bit earlier. That's perhaps the more serious, sort of verging on professional side. How has that been working out so far? Because I know you said that you've had a sort of a large group of people, particularly young girls, wanting to come and play. As you mentioned, the South Asian community as well. Have you found that from that pool of young girls, there have been potential future Pakistani stars, England stars? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, we've had quite successful stories of about 3 girls which we sent for trials, and they've made it into the development squads at Essex County. So yeah, that's quite good for us.
We'll have to get them on. We'll have to go and meet them. Yeah. You've gained obviously this Point of Light awarded by the PM. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that. That must have been quite special.
Yeah, that was really good. I think got that last year in February. I was invited down to number 10 Downing Street because Chance to Shine was celebrating their 10-year anniversary. And then it was a bit of a surprise to me when they came up to me, and Samantha Camera came up to me and awarded me the award for volunteering in the community for my cricket project. So yeah, that was a nice, delightful surprise.
And I mean, is this something that perhaps, I mean, because I often think awards are a wonderful thing. It makes you feel great, but at the same time, do you hope that sort of, you know, when you receive a reward, obviously you're receiving a reward because of your efforts, because of your talent and your skill and what you've done. Do you hope that this can pass on to the girls that you train?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, every time I win an award, they're the first people that I tell, and I take the award along with me. And then they tell me, oh, how can I become a coach? You know, I would love to do what you're doing as well. So I'm inspiring girls in not just playing, also coaching as well, and hopefully trying to get the next generation of coaches coming through as well.
I just wanted to go back a little bit, Saba, to some of the challenges that you face being a woman cricket coach. You know, we've moved on a fair amount in this country, at least with equality. There's still a way to go, of course. But have you found in the process since you were a young girl growing up to the stage you are at now, have you ever been knocked to the point where you considered giving up, where you considered thinking, you know, I think there's maybe some reason, even though I don't know what it is, why I've got this huge wall against me? Did you ever get to that?
Well, I think I didn't give up intentionally, but when I was in year 7 up to year 10, I played, you know, cricket for my school. And then when it came to year 10, the school just stopped the cricket club. They said, you have to focus on your education now. So there was a gap where I did not play in my teenage years up to the age of about 20 cricket. And then after university and the summer holidays came up, I thought, oh, I really would love to, you know, go and get back into cricket. And that's how I found my local cricket club at Wanstead. So yeah, I think I didn't intentionally want to give up, but I just had to give up because there were no ladies cricket clubs around at that time.
But did your family not question it at all? Did they not sort of say, well, you know, focus on, you know, you're a solicitor, you're a trained solicitor. Were they a bit concerned that perhaps, you know, the more you got involved in that, maybe the less you'd study or the lower your grades would be or anything?
No, I mean, that's what I want to show the girls, that, look, I first did a degree in science and then I converted to law. And I did a master's in there as well. So I want to show the girls that, look, you can also do education and revise for your exams. Like, law exams are one of the toughest in the country. And I did that whilst I was playing a game on the Sunday. So I had a game on the Sunday and then I had an exam on the Monday. And the girls were like, how you do it? I said, I just try and, you know, timetable my revision sessions around it so that the sport is my relief, it's my stress relief. So that's how I did it. And I hope the girls can also try and manage their time like that.
OK, well, look, we're coming to the end of the show. What sort of little projects are in the pipeline? What have you got planned for this year? Anything up and coming?
So the plan is to try and get another project going, the same one as the Chance to Shine one in another borough, and to carry on, you know, just giving attention to the girls and focusing on how to make them a bit more better, and a few of them getting them to play at my club. I'm the captain there as well, so I just want to get them playing games and, you know, get a feel for the game and hopefully keep on playing the sport. And
if someone is watching this and they want to get involved, Saba, how would they go about getting involved directly with you?
They can follow my Twitter, or they can go on the ECB's website and type in their postcode and they can find the nearest girls' club for them. OK, that's fantastic. Saba, thank you very much for coming in today and sharing with us your stories, and I hope you win plenty more awards. OK, well, that's it on this episode of Sports Weekly. Do stay with us over the coming weeks as we bring you more interesting stories and interviews in the world of sport. Don't forget, you can catch up with previous episodes by heading online to Islam Channel TV as usual. You can also find us on Facebook or by Twitter. That's at Sports Weekly IC. Until next week, from everyone here in the studio, bye-bye.